Morning, Carol. Good morning, Carol.
Good morning. I'm
Oh,
so
there
used
you
to muting myself. I forgot to unmute.
are.
Oh,
There
I
you are.
have a new iPad Air and I'm still figuring out how to use it. So,
Oh,
oh my gosh. I tell you, it's a challenge keeping up with all these n new technology.
no kidding. I've
Uh,
no I've noticed that issue.
yeah. Yeah, and I thought, oh, I'll just switch over to the new iPad with the bigger screen and it'll be as before, but oh my gosh, so many changes that I'm really just familiarizing myself with them all. So,
Yep.
yeah.
It's like what happens whenever you get a new computer or a new uh, operating system
Or a new car.
or a new car these
Yes.
days. You're right. Hi,
Yeah.
Joanne. Hi, Joanne.
Good morning.
Did
I'm
you
fine. No, really, I'm fine. But
did you get your project done?
yes, and within about 3 hours, he got back to me and said, "Oh, this looks perfect." It was the third try. He just is a very fussy. He's very fussy. He was helping us. He's helping us raise funds for something. So he's not the donor. He's like a donor who's also going to reach out to other donors for this International Nonviolence Training Fund. And
Ah,
it seemed like nothing we sent him was satisfying to him. It just
oh
was beginning to
geez.
really be annoying. It's like
Oh,
he asked us for a one pager and then he asked us for 5 pages. And then he reads the 5 pages and wants a different one pager. He wants the budget done differently.
Ah,
oh,
So I think he might have accepted it because I wrote him a letter that said, "Look, we're all volunteers." Like,
yeah,
and then he's complaining that the part-time staff person is, we're spending too much money on him and not enough on the grants. And it's like, you can't get the grants out based on all volunteers. You need staff
yeah,
for certain things.
yeah, absolutely.
But so I guess my letter was strong enough to kind of stop him from asking one more time, which
Good.
I really was thinking I wasn't gonna like give in to him anyway. So,
Yeah.
really hoping. So yes, thank you. And I had two other projects I need to get done, and I got to
Ah,
my meeting in New London with 2 minutes to spare.
2 minutes to spare. All right.
I got there at 11:38, and meeting was going to start at 11:40.
Aha. Well,
So today was a little easier of a morning, to
yeah.
say the least. Ay, ay, ay. I did look at my schedule though. It's beginning to clear up by Thanksgiving, so I'll have
Really?
more breathing time.
I'm
Well,
not.
because people get into the holiday season, so there's just less of certain other things that happen.
Okay, whatever you say, Joanne.
He doesn't believe me because he's known me for 24 years. He's like, yeah, we say that, Joanne, but it never works out that way. There's some emergency around.
Yeah. Good morning.
All right.
Good morning, Linda. Oh, goodness.
Everybody take a breath.
Yep. Beautiful day.
I'm sorry.
It's a beautiful day.
Yes, it is.
It was a
Breathe in the
gorgeous
sunshine.
drive up here today, even though we're losing a lot of the leaves. My favorite, it's a shrub that's underneath that it turns that iridescent pink.
Oh yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that one. I love that one,
Yeah.
and it's still got its leaves. So,
Yeah.
and it was sunny and it was pleasant.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the drive.
Good. Good. I am recording.
Yeah. So that.
So how does your bend the bow, shoot the arrow?
I have noticed, and last week was great because they're just a way of just making those more corrections, right?
Yeah.
But I have noticed that my bow bends differently. Preparation, and then at 3, and then again at the end, so the 3 times I go into it, it's kind of like maybe not big enough, maybe too big, getting back to shrinking a little. So I'm trying to find the right place. And,
Yeah.
and so I go into play peepaw, right? So I do other things where I use the bow, bend the bow, and I feel like I got it there. So it's not like I don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
But somehow, and this is the second time around for me doing Marriage of Heaven and Earth, but I'm struggling with that. So full disclosure.
One of the things I was thinking about this week that I'm not sure I said last week about this is that you are extending and then contracting back, coming back to straight each time, and that extension is really important. We tend to focus on the upper half and forget that the sacrum is also extending, ideally in exact proportion to what you're doing in the upper body. And what you do with the lower half of your spine really determines what you do in the upper half.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Because it's the smaller, it's more you just don't have as much movement there. And so sometimes focusing on those aspects of it can help you to find what you need to do. And it is different in different movements. It isn't always the same size. Joanne, for you, if you think about doing the form, it is constantly changing, and some of them are so quick that they're going to be tiny, and others you have lots of time, and so it may be a little larger, or it may not. It simply is whatever it needs to be. Simply.
Simply, yeah, right. That's easy, Davis.
Yeah. But I think it's a matter of practice.
Yep.
To really begin to allow your body to do what it needs to do and not do too much, which is kind of what we plan and seem to want to do.
Right. Yeah, I think my question, I was thinking of the tuck as well. So I've been thinking about both ends.
Oh, good.
Both the crane's neck and the tuck. So and again, then I noticed, in play peepaw, your legs are also in a very different place.
Yeah.
And you're moving into it and out of it in a different way. So yeah, I think that, it's just making sure I've got the C, and then, making sure I'm not bending over, because I feel like it's my bend, and you have stopped. Yeah. You have noticed that, and said something as well. So
right, making sure that it's coming from the middle.
Yeah.
It's so easy to
just
let it
move your
slide one way or the other.
Right.
And
yeah.
once you really get comfortable with it being in the middle, the balance, I think, becomes easier between the two ends of your spine, if you will.
Yeah.
And also just conceptually remembering that the Taoists consider the end of the spine not at the end of the neck where it joins the skull, but the top of the head,
Right. Yeah.
which also affects where is the middle.
Right.
So all of those pieces are have to be looked at and practiced and find where that point is for you and how to do it. Other thoughts or questions on that, Linda or Carol?
No.
Well, I'm finding every once in a while, I'll find myself again overextending going into two as I'm shooting the arrow. And I just tend to overextend here. And so a couple of times I've just actually stopped and just done nothing but the C curve and remind myself of how that's working. And it's still kind of there, but it's working its way out of the system. I think my transition from 1 to 2 is still a little bit iffy, because I'm feeling that extension, but then where do you feel that the outward expansion?
And one of the things is that I found was that when I began really focusing on the C curve, it made that transition from 1 to 2 easier, because 2 is part of straightening the spine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're not fully straightened at 1. You're not fully straightened until 2.
Okay.
Until the hands hit the back. Yeah. Okay. That's a good to remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that really helps kind of proportion what you're doing through 1 and 2.
Okay, that's good. That sounds like it'd be a good way to think about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and I think also your correction last week of preparation for all of us probably
Yeah.
makes a difference, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Good. Anything for you, Carol?
No, just that for me, Joanne brought that up, the preparation, that was probably the most challenge for me this week. Just
Right.
unlearning a habit that I had been doing, bringing that preparation to the front of me rather than just, just the turn. So once I made that adjustment, and it was uncomfortable for a couple of days, and
I still don't have it.
yeah, it's starting to feel a lot better. But I think, as Joanne and as Linda have said, it's all just progress. So I guess the best term is coming along.
Well, that's good.
Which is the whole thing forever.
Yeah.
So good. So what I'd like you to do is to do a 10 rep flow, and I'll observe as much as I can and see if I can help you. And so be aware as you're doing this, if there are places where you feel it's not smooth, you run into a glitch, and see if we can smooth out those places if you're still having that going on. Okay?
David, do you want us on Zoom to stand sideways or facing front?
Maybe sideways at this point still,
Okay.
if that's convenient.
More revealing, but yes.
Jesse.
Good. Well, definitely feel that everybody's doing better than you were last week, which is
That's good.
encouraging to say the least. I'll start with Joanne. Yours is really coming along very well. I feel like you're still maybe doing a little too much from the top, but
Yeah,
it's
I
a
feel
small,
that. Yeah.
very small amount.
Okay.
And um, it's hard for me to see clearly about the tuck, but it seems
Yeah.
to be there. I can see it.
Yeah. I know. I feel like I've got the tuck. Yeah. It's really the
Yeah, but because the tuck is so small, the top needs to be small also.
yeah.
They have to be in proportion.
Right. I think that challenges them in proportion with the pace of the arms.
Yes.
I mean, that's really it. That's really kind of, should I be moving my arms faster?
Yep,
Maybe I should be. Yeah.
that's certainly part of it.
Yeah.
Um, Carol, it's coming along. What a couple of things that I would say for you. One is I'm feeling that you're pushing your pelvis back as you go down, and partially that's because you're actually sinking the whole body more than it needs to. So let me get to here, because from this point it's probably a little easier to see. So I'm going to try to do what I feel like you're doing. I feel like there's a little bit of tuck, but the pelvis is pushing back and you're trying to sink too much. I'm overdoing this.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
No, I can see what you're saying. I can feel that. Yes.
Yeah. So actually you want to think of the sacrum going obviously it's not going straight down because we're tucking it under slightly, but the hips are going straight down. Being a little gross, a comment that a Chinese woman teacher in Taiwan said to Bruce about the movement of his pelvis when it was going down, was it needed to fucka his foot.
Yes, I remember you saying that.
So a little gross, I will admit, but absolutely to the point.
Sometimes those get that point better.
So when you do three, just so you can perhaps see the difference, you don't need to sink so much, but you need to let the bend of the spine continue all the way to here, then
Okay.
straighten
That's helpful. Yeah.
all the way to there. Does that help?
It does. And you know what, David, that makes a good point because I think my arms are moving slowly that I was overemphasizing the tuck and the bend to try to keep up with the arms. So it's a pacing thing then that I really have to that I have to
Yeah.
work on.
Practice, practice, practice.
Yeah, yeah. It's just, and I see what you mean because I feel like in a couple of the moves that I am going down very low compared to a couple of the others because my arms are not down where I need them to be yet. So
Yeah.
I'm compensating, I think, by bending definitely more than I need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that. Thank you.
I think one of the things to remember always in our practices, which is difficult really to feel and incorporate, and that is that it's really from the qua down that's driving the movement. It's not the arms.
Yeah.
Yep.
Arms are following. They're coordinating with. So our difficulty is that we tend to lead with the arms
Mm.
and try to get everything else to work with it. And it actually will be easier in the long run if you can think of the qua and the legs being the important
Mhm.
leader of the band, as Bruce likes to call
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And for Linda, that's her name.
Oh,
Look at it, David.
It's I haven't known her very long, just a big chunk of my life. For you, kind of the opposite of Carol was kind of interesting. The bend of your spine, I think, is quite good. But what was happening for you was that once you went down here, the straightening was coming from the qua, but the knees were staying where they were. And the knees straightened on the very last movement before you closed.
okay.
So your body said, okay, we're done now. I gotta straighten up. So that's a,
Mhm.
it's a small adjustment, but if the knees freeze, then it makes it very difficult to move the energy through the legs.
Okay. Okay.
So everything has to move here.
That's interesting because I kind of stopped that. I felt like I had too much of that going on before. And I felt like I was doing too much sinking
Yeah.
and was trying to,
So you were still bending here,
but not at the
but not at the knees.
okay. Okay. That's interesting because that was something I was trying to correct from what I
Yeah.
felt wasn't right before. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Let me just see. I need another pair of eyes. There we go. Okay. So thoughts, questions, comments about your meditation? Anything there at all?
I'm still kind of looking at the feeling the inside and the outside connecting.
Mhm.
It's interesting during these times. It just feels a little painful sometimes when I actually feel like I can do that.
Uh-huh.
And I don't want to do it again. So I need to find a way to feel like I can separate myself from that still. Does that make sense? Or is that the wrong way to go about it?
Well, my response would be that rather than trying to escape it, accepting it may be more effective.
Which is probably why I'm there to begin with, is that I felt like I've probably tried to escape it more than
Well, and that is why we talk about the necessity to be brave if you're going to do this practice, because it's going to raise things that you perhaps don't want to face, don't want to deal with.
Mhm.
And yet, if you deal with them, if you can both release and resolve them, then they no longer will be really bothering you. You may remember them, that's one thing, but the inner blockage response that is painful
Yep. Yeah.
can let go.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying. We've all been there, I think. Um, so, but that is what I feel is that and it's one of the hard parts in this is being willing to accept and face those things and really approach them with the understanding that you can do something about it.
Mhm.
Hmm.
You're not stuck with it.
Mhm.
You don't
Hmm.
have to feel bad.
Mhm.
It may take some work, some meditation to get through it, but it's possible to do something about it.
Mhm.
Carol or Joanne?
Mm, I think again, my comment before, it's progressing, but I had expected it would be a more even progression. And I find some days it really works, and some days it's just, oh my gosh, it's like my mind, it's work to keep
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
focus and my presence. And I thought, wait a minute, this was going really well. What happened all of a sudden? So that was kind of a revelation to me that it's not smooth sailing, in one direction.
That's reality.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. It's life.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I thought that once I had attained, that
Mm.
level of being able to concentrate, oh, good, I've got it nailed now. No,
You're on the
no.
plateau, and then here we go. Yeah, you got
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
foundation. Yeah, yeah. But think of that as almost everything we do is like that, right?
Yes. And it comes back to accepting again that
Yes,
that is
yes,
the
and just letting
reality.
go.
Yep.
Um, some days your back hurts really
Yep.
badly, and some days it doesn't hurt at all.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, or just had a bad night, or you're just there's anxiety for some, more than there would be another day, or less, or
yep,
all of the above.
all of the above.
So just kind of saying, okay, that's what it was today, and
Yep,
and let it go.
you just do the best you can, and then indeed let it go.
Yeah.
It's like when you're trying to dissolve a blockage and it's just not doing anything, so you let it drop down to the next place where you have a blockage. It's just accepting, well, that's the way it is, and to sit and struggle with it is not going to be the answer.
Yeah,
So if the day is not very productive, you do the best you can,
yeah,
and it may be a little shorter than usual, and that's fine.
I think what I have to do, David, is train myself to be more of an observer of myself
mm,
rather than a driver of myself, which has been my modus operandi for too long. So
Absolutely.
it's letting go of that determination that, okay, this is a goal I have to reach, um and just sit back and observe what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah, because until you really start letting go, and that's one of my favorite phrases, uh,
yeah,
you can't really feel.
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
My laugh wasn't good enough.
So Moki has come to join us today. What do you wish? Okay, so we've been working on outer dissolving, and over the next few weeks, we'll probably be adding an awareness of inner dissolving. And so I'm going to talk today about the two of those concepts,
Okay.
outer and inner dissolving. we're not going to actually go to practicing inner dissolving at this point. We're going to stay with what we're working with. But just to be, to begin to understand what those terms mean.
Mhm.
So we've been working with outer dissolving and understanding the four conditions for several weeks now, and really trying to be aware of them however they manifest in your body. Now, meditation is a basic term, and it can mean many different things to different people, depending upon their perspective they come from. And a few questions and their answers may help to clarify what Taoist meditation does as opposed to what is done in other traditions. In the beginning states, Taoist meditation is based on, on its basic methods, which involve inner and outer dissolving. So what is the difference between inner and outer dissolving? The big difference here is that your mind has the ability, if it focuses, to recognize an area inside you that is blocked, stuck, glitched, or where things are just not smooth. In other words, the water is not flowing. And there is some big thing in the middle of your body or your mind that is stopping the water flowing. Now, knowing that the mind has the ability, the method of meditation is to have your mind settle on that area and release what is blocked. Now, this is done in two ways. With outer dissolving, you release what is inside you. It could be anywhere. It can be deep inside an internal organ. Your experience of it could be that it is inside your brain or inside your foot. It is somewhere inside your body. With many medical conditions, this is very common. A blocked acupuncture point can feel like this. So if this is inside my body, I now dissolve and first soften and then relax until all sense that this area that feels hard has completely relaxed. But that's not the end, because that doesn't actually finish the problem. It just means that it is better. And anything that can soften can again become hard, like ice. So ice can become water, and water can then become ice again. So to complete the process in outer dissolving, that energy goes to your skin and then outside of your body, into your etheric body, and if possible, on out of your etheric body. Now, when anything happens energetically inside your body and goes to the boundary of your etheric body, there is this constant interplay with the middle between what is in your etheric body and what is inside your physical body. Your physical body causes the etheric body, but your etheric body because it's a loop, can also affect the inside of your physical body. So the object in outer dissolving is to release the energy from your skin through your etheric body until it dissolves itself. And that is more effective than simply relaxation. Now, inner dissolving is something quite different. Again, with outer dissolving, we go from the inside out. Inner dissolving goes from the outside in. So let's say the blockage is in the knuckle. And for that knuckle, when I find where the blockage is, I now go into my knuckle and I will start dissolving inside myself. Now, every space inside your body, every little micro dot contains all the energies that your entire body is composed of. The universe of your entire body is within every single cell. So you go into those cells, all the way into it, until rather than the feeling that your energy has gone to the outside of your etheric body and finished, you go deep inside yourself until your emotional, mental, or psychic essence levels release. Now, eventually, you come into either a small or very major experience, the emptiness, which both Buddhism and Taoism talks about. So that's it. You could say that one way is expanding and the other one is imploding. So since Taoism is so focused on starting with the body, the question now becomes how Qigong and Tai Chi, which are body practices, just like yoga is a body practice, among many others, how does either dissolving help your Qigong and Tai Chi and vice versa? First of all, this ability to take your energy out to the limit of your etheric body can enable you to relax more. And it has healing qualities, just like acupuncture has healing qualities. So you also have this relationship between your body and your internal organs in what they secrete and the energies they have, which generate the bodily expression of emptiness. So likewise, the energies inside your internal organs and glands affect your brain and the way your brain works, whether it is better or worse, whether it operates well or operates poorly. So all of outer dissolving upgrades your emotional and mental sphere. But what it cannot do is that it cannot resolve really deep emotional issues. So from things like traumas, it can make things better from stress, because there's a situation caused by the events of your life and the way in which your internal organs have simply become deranged from too much pressure, too much stress, too much activity. Now, if you want to deal with really deep stuff, then you have to go to inner dissolving. So this brings up some other questions. For example, what is the relationship between sinking chi and dissolving? The way dissolving works, whether it's inner dissolving or outer dissolving, is that you dissolve at a level, but if you can't release it and finish it, you drop it to the next level, the place in your body where you feel a blockage, and you release them together. The object of it all being to eventually release your lower dantian. Now, sinking chi does not necessarily release every point, but it sinks it down your body. When you release something to your etheric body, and then it comes back, the next thing that's going to happen is that you drop your chi to the next lower point and dissolve there. However, there's a difference between just sinking your chi from one point to another and sinking your chi with resolution. Chan Buddhism, for example, which was a practice in China that came from really a marriage of Taoism and Buddhism, was more about Buddhist philosophy, thoughts, and other larger issues. But actually, a lot of the way they practiced and what they did came directly out of Taoism. It was a fusion, it was a marriage. They focus on sinking chi, but in Taoism, you not only sink chi, as you do in Chan, but your mind goes down to the lower dantian and stays there, and you also dissolve. The next question is to talk a little bit about blockages. What are blockages, and why should you care that you have them at all? Well, the purpose of inner and outer dissolving is to release blockages. You have energy in your body, and the answer is very simple. If a current moves along something, it produces a steady stream of power, electricity, or something. Then, if whatever that current is powering, whether it's your physical body, your emotions, your thought processes, or your more subtle perceptions, is moving well, then as the pressure goes, if nothing is broken, then there's no need to fix it. But if you have a blockage, then everything isn't working well. Every place you have a blockage where the energy doesn't work, well, it can become a place where you can get sick. And that's where you have emotional discomfort or emotional pain. And that's where you become hyper stressed. And that is where your mind no longer works that well, or not as well as it could if it had a steady current. So blockages are essentially what is inside you that doesn't work well. Now, Buddhism, for example, doesn't use the term blockages. They use the term obstacles or obstructions. They talk about it from a visual point of view. The thing that makes it fuzzy and not able to see, makes one makes things fuzzy and unstable, so you're not able to see clearly. The Taoists come, however, from a point of view that all spirituality is essentially about spiritual health. They have a medical model, and the term blockages is something that comes from acupuncture. You have a point that's blocked, they stick a needle in, and then it's not blocked, and everything is fine. Now, if you took that from Buddhist visual perspective, then you talk about what's inside that point is obstructed, and you can see it. So you don't know what's in that is causing the problem. And these are just cultural differences between India and China. Any particular thoughts at the moment? Okay. So we have time just to do a little bit of meditating. Just sit and breathe. And let go of all those words and focus on your outer dissolving. And the words we use are ice to water and water to gas. And just beginning at the top of your head, making sure Bai Hui is open and flowing. And then scanning on down and endeavoring to release and resolve whatever blockage you find. And begin to close whenever you're ready. And in all benefit gained from this practice, how to help all the sentient creatures of the universe. Any last minute thoughts or questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great week.
Thank you, David.
too,
You as well.
everybody.
Thank you.
Yep.
See you next week.
Yeah.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.